I used to dislike the idea that I'd be middle-aged. I wanted to be young for as long as I could and then gracefully decline. But it's not possible. Unfortunately, middle age exists. Though some people refuse to admit it. Some people embrace a time when they don't have to pretend to be young anymore. For others, it's hurtful that they've got so far and had expectations dashed. Still, times will pass, like it or not. It's something to be here. So why not roll out the carpet, bring on the cake?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
How do you feel?
Fine.
So what is it that there is to celebrate?
The fact that I've actually made it this far.
What have you got to look forward to now then, Lee?
The next 40 years.
The next 40
Oh,
years?
God, yes. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought I'd be middle-aged when I was 60.
60?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to 60 now.
The tradition was when you were 40, you did not pretend you were young. You put away childish things, bring out the slippers, and act grown up.
What is middle age? You see,
Well,
I think
whatever
it's
you
what
think
you
of it.
are. I mean, I think it's a very exciting time.
Right,
I'm loving it. Loving it.
I think I've got to a stage now where I can be very much myself.
Yeah, it's one of the blessings of middle age.
I think I felt a little cheated that I got to like almost halfway. It's like halfway through a match and you really haven't scored your goal yet.
Have you scored your goal since?
No, not yet.
No?
No. I'm still waiting.
I'm not anybody's wife, I'm not anybody's mum, I'm not anybody's company secretary. And I'm doing what I want to do, and it's great.
It always was and will be a passage of time. Each of us who live that long have to pass. A ritual you have to go through. So smile that you're not in your grave yet. Can't you dance? I started at this party to see how people today, and I myself, now really look at it. When you reached middle age traditionally, the idea was you'd take up a different kind of life and settle onto your hobbies. Oh!
We have the cots here, which we place your baby into.
But Maggie and Peter are doing what you're supposed to have done when you were young.
A little boy or a girl.
In today's middle age, having a baby when your clock has passed 40 with a man you met when you were 38 is a pretty everyday occurrence.
Come on then, Maggie. What do you get?
Margaret, who'd had boyfriends before, is a Christian. Her husband, who'd never been married before, is a town planner.
Which is a break.
They met in church, and for both, this was what they were after.
The midwife will then just sort of,
Within the week it'll be born. So we know it's going to be born within the week, which I'm really pleased about.
It's enormous, isn't it, Pete? It just...
It's become so the last 2 months, really.
Yeah.
She was quite small for a while.
Oh, it's kicked me. It kicked me.
It what?
Kicked me. It does that a lot.
Where's its head?
Its head's down there.
Right.
that he kicked me up here.
He?
Well, she, he, it.
You left it late, didn't you? You did. I mean, how old are you now? And you tell me that.
42.
Right. For the first baby?
Yeah.
Who wanted the baby more? Margaret or you, think?
I think probably initially I did, because I was very aware that
The clock was ticking.
the clock was ticking, yeah, and if I didn't land up getting a baby quickly, the chances of having one were diminished. And I've always wanted to have a baby. I've always wanted to be a mum.
Well, you couldn't have wanted it that much, so you'd done something about it earlier on.
I suppose, I mean, you could say that, but I
Well, I did.
I suppose if people want to have babies on their own, fine, but you need to find the right... I feel I need to find the right partner to raise a baby with. It was in the back of my mind quite often that when I reached 40, that was it. I suppose a little bit of sadness. It was something that I wanted to do in my life, was to be a mum. Yeah, and I know a lot of people at that point get desperate and they'll just go to a sperm bank or something and get themselves a baby, where I wasn't desperate, but I still had that desire. I went through a time then of grieving, thinking I wouldn't be a mother. And yeah, it was a sort of grief, because you kind of think, well, your clock's reached 40, the chances of finding a husband and getting married within a short space of time was very limited, you know, not very likely.
Did you think you wouldn't make it? You wouldn't meet the man? You wouldn't find the baby? You wouldn't...
I suppose that there were times when I felt I would, and there's other times when I thought I wouldn't. Deep inside I thought I probably would find the right man and have a baby, but superficially, because there wasn't a man on the horizon, there were times when I thought I've missed out.
You smelt it then, didn't you? That's somebody else's apple.
Oh, he is bigger, isn't he?
The nuclear chinchilla family live happily together forever in this house, as far as we know.
That's it, yeah. They're the
That's
ones.
Mum and Dad.
But for humans, when you get it, it may not last.
It started out with one.
Tricia wanted, when young, to be mummy to her whole family well beyond middle age.
They also calm down then when they're all together.
Yes.
But Tricia's family are not chinchillas.
Do you remember your 40th birthday?
Yes. I do. It was a very nice day. I've had a 50th since then. And nothing special was done for my 50th. And that was really disappointing.
Between when you were happy at the birthday party of your 40th
Right.
and the time you were 50, you lost what?
Very simple, really. The love of my husband. That was all.
Tricia's husband went off with a fresh woman. For 24 years they'd been together, and then he ran away with a young un, leaving Tricia stuck with an old dilemma.
You found no new life?
Have I found a new life? I've made a new life.
You talk about it like you made it, like you make a
Well, you have to.
patchwork quilt bit by
Yeah, well, you have to. If you've got people dependent on you, you know, feeling sorry for yourself isn't going to pay the bills.
No.
It's not going to feed my two, and you've seen the size of them. They need feeding.
And their father, your husband, left you and did find.
He found someone before he left.
Right.
So I'll get it the right way round.
But he found...
He found what he was looking for.
And you didn't find.
No.
You lost.
Well, I found what I wanted, but it wasn't available, you might say. Someone else had taken it.
Between the time
Lady Di's not the only one who's had to suffer 3 in a marriage.
When you were 40, what you saw was the rosy life ahead for the two of you at last, with the kids grown up.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I certainly wanted to travel and, you know, share our hobbies, because at that time it was just me, because he was busy with his exams and evening class. So,
Well, it's what you've got to look forward to when you're middle-aged, isn't it?
Time together.
Yeah. Oh, when you split up, happiness for one, and disaster for the other.
Yes.
If you could have found another man, it might have been different.
Well, of course it'd have been different. You are funny.
Yeah, I might be funny, but it's more difficult for a woman than it is for a man, isn't it?
How do you mean?
It was easier for him than it was for you.
Well, yes, because he got happiness. We all know happiness makes the world go round. And if you've got problems and you're happy with someone, then your problems are not as great as they really are they? Because you like sharing problems together.
For now, Tricia has lost her life. In middle age, she's not in control. The responsibilities of the children alone she copes with, but it's for the time being. Tricia's slightly optimistic. The doors are not all closed.
Oh, well, you'll get over middle age, and then you'll have a 60th birthday.
Oh, that was going to be different. Definitely. I shall have to organise it again, like I did my 40th. You see, that was all right.
Yeah.
If I'm in charge, then all's well.
They don't have pillows these days.
Being able to change is a mark of our time.
Baby.
But in middle age, life's not all over. Margaret has no qualms at starting a family this late in life, before time is up, doing what she always wanted.
It would have been really good if we'd started off when we were younger. But at the same time, by the time we had started our relationship, we were mature enough to really get to know one another properly. That's for the bottom. We knew who we were as people, ourselves. We knew what we believed in and what we felt. And so our relationship was built on quite a sort of deep feelings, rather than coming in at a superficial level, which maybe when you're younger you tend to have more superficial relationships. But ours started in quite a deep way anyway, didn't it?
Timing just seems right now, really. I mean, things are working out for us. We've managed to, in a few days' time, hopefully have a baby. You know, so we haven't particularly missed out.
That's better.
Right, put the quilt on.
Wonderful, yeah.
Peter has been trekking in India. Margaret had holidays in Canada. She's registered as a physiotherapist, self-employed.
I know. Are you looking forward to being a dad?
Yeah, I think so.
Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's happened with Pete and Margaret is, whereas most middle-aged people, when they get to this stage in their life, they're able to relax and settle down. What you've done is sort of put this burden on yourself to begin, haven't you? Your next 20 years are going to be full.
I think so.
When you're 50, you're not going to be wondering what to do. Your time's going to be taken up.
That's right. We'll have a little child going to primary school or whatever when I'm 50. 50 is only 8 years' time, and 8 years doesn't seem very long. And It's a really funny thought because I don't feel as old as I am. Anyway, yeah, we've got the rest of our lives to have a look after this one.
Only days away, and Margaret was about to pop. In middle age, you can now do what you want. But middle age has ideas of its own. Sally's being taken by her husband Richard to the hospital. It's serious. You may not live to be old.
I don't like the idea of having a part of me removed. But I like the idea that it'll hopefully give me longer to live. It'll give me a much better chance of survival. And that's the most important thing.
Sally's just gone into the theatre and she's a bit nervous. She was a bit tearful, but I think okay. Just got to wait now. So for me, this is the worst part, just waiting for about an hour or so until she comes round.
You moved it now?
21.
21.
She came round and Sally went home with a breast removed. Her daughter and granddaughter Millie at the table played dice, snakes and ladders, and they fall as in a game. But for Sally, all the stakes are now higher. Sally had fallen in love with Richard, they're both social workers, before cancer came. It was a second love, a second chance for both of them, the start of a fresh life in middle age. And then for Sally, the shadow came.
Support and love that you've given me since I heard that I had breast cancer. I'd like to say a special thanks to my lovely daughter Vicky here, who gave up her summer holiday to stay here and support me, and she's done it wonderfully. Thank you. Now to my lovely Richard, my husband. Oh God, it's very difficult for me to find big enough words to thank him for the way that he's been. It's just been wonderful. He's been a real tower of strength, and I'm very happy that I've married him, and I know that we'll be really happy. Thank you, Richard. And we'd like to toast you all for being here. This is us toasting you, and for your support and caring. To you all, the mums. I don't wear anything in bed. I mean, we just do everything as we did before.
We've been together since?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've only been married, how long have we been married, Richard? May.
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
We've lived together for
9 years.
9 years.
We're not going to stop having sex because I've lost a breast. Goodness me, no.
I don't know how you can laugh.
Because it's...
I mean, for a man, if I had to lose my parts like that,
I can laugh because it feels okay. I'm already getting used to it. But I can't laugh all the time. It's not... I'm feeling okay about it now, but I might not have been feeling okay about it yesterday, or I might not be tomorrow.
As people in middle age, you have to get used to the fact that your body isn't quite what it used to be. And this is just a more radical version of that, isn't it?
It's a bit of a drastic version of it, having a bit chopped off.
Very much more radical.
Yeah, I mean, what the surgeon's knife does is make it absolutely absolute that you cannot pretend to be young in all your bits any longer.
Yeah, that's right.
But you have to admit now that you are middle-aged.
Oh, yes. Yes. I don't mind being middle-aged. I think it's quite nice. I feel middle-aged. I don't feel young. And I don't feel old, so I think I must feel middle-aged.
It would feel much worse if you were young, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, it'd be a tragedy. An unexpected tragedy. The mark of middle age is that you do expect these things to come along.
For your body to deteriorate a bit.
Yeah.
The times pass in different ways. We look at our lives in middle age. At the tragedy that happens when we thought we'd got it all right again. The leavings and comings. And there's an optimism. It's always there.
Do you think having a big tragedy like you've had, Sally, do you think that focuses you on middle age in a way that doesn't happen to the rest of us?
In a sense, it focuses you on the fact that life could be narrowing down, that there could be less of it. But I don't know that it's focused me in any different way on middle age. It's focused me on life generally.
It's made us change the way we live, hasn't it? In the way that we relate to people and talk to people. It really made a difference with that.
You don't want to waste time anymore. You want to cut out all the rubbish and just get on with it as the way it's meant to be. Try and make it as good as it can be.
So all the old grievances, you try and straighten out if you can. And if you can't, you can't. But some of them you can, and we have, haven't we?
And you just decide about things you want to talk to people about that perhaps you haven't done. You said something to your mum at our wedding.
So I think that a lot of the good things in me are because of the sort of love and care that she gave me in the past. And I've never said that before, and I really mean it. And I felt so pleased that I'd done it, because I thought it was such an important thing to say, because it felt so true to me. And
you could leave things too long.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a long time dead, aren't we? And if you leave things and don't do them and don't say them, you may never do it.
Sally was lucky to have an opportunity to set her past straight, at least say hello to a new future.
I felt I was too young to die, but maybe everybody feels that, and that I wanted to live a lot longer. But I didn't specifically think about middle age or old age. I just thought about life and living. Well, I especially thought about wanting to see Millie grow up and wanting to see what Vicky does with her life and wanting to be around for them. Those are particularly important things.
Can you hear him?
No. Must be resting.
And asleep.
To you, happy birthday to you.
What's the problem? I'm here. Mummy's here. Yeah, you don't have to worry.
After 48 hours of labour, Matthew Isaac was born to Margaret. Matthew means gift of God. It was Isaac who was born to Sarah in the Bible. But Sarah was 90.
I've always wanted to be a mum. Even when I was a little child, I wanted to be a mum. I've waited 42 years. I think he's a lovely baby, and he's everything I've ever dreamed of. He's just the best